The Honorable Minister for Employment and Social and Labor Relations will make a statement, commemorative one, on the 2020 World Day against child labor. The first response will come from the Honorable Mumuni, who had also filed a statement, but who will give the first response? Honorable, yes. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today, the 12th of June, is a day set aside to commemorate the World Day Against Child Labor. The aim is to draw attention to the plight of children in various forms of work that is not acceptable the world over. This year's celebration is under the theme COVID-19, Protect Children from Child Labor now more than ever. Mr. Speaker, this is important because childhood is expected to be one of the most enjoyable periods of human existence, during which people have the opportunity to play, interact with nature, and attend school in preparation for adulthood. Indeed, it is at this stage of development that people need special care and protection as enshrined in Article 28 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Unfortunately, according to the ILO, 152 million children are trapped in child labor around the world, and 72 million of these are in worse forms of child labor. For Ghana, the 6th round of the Ghana Living Standard Survey, GLS 6, of 2014 estimated children in child labor to be 1.9 million, representing 21.8% of total children population. Mr. Speaker, the underlying causes of child labor include poverty, limited access to decent work opportunities for families, ignorance, lack of access to quality education, irresponsible parenting, and many others. The Speaker, successive governments and stakeholders have not relented in their efforts at combating child labor in Ghana. These efforts are evident in the numerous legislations, policies, programs, and projects, as well as strong institutional arrangements that seek to protect children's rights, promote their development, and prevent them from getting trapped in child labor. Effective collaboration between government agencies, tripartite constituents, CSOs, NGOs, private sector, international organizations, and many others, which has been the strategy, is a step in the right direction. Mr. Speaker, my ministry, in collaboration with the National Steering Committee on Child Labor and other stakeholders, secured Cabinet's approval for the implementation of the second National Plan of Action for the Elimination of Worst Forms of Child Labor, NPA2. The plan has 4 broad strategic objectives. The first is to reinforce public awareness of child labor and its impact. 2, to improve collaboration and coordination for resource mobilization. 3, to provide effective monitoring of social services and economic empowerment programs of local government units. And 4, to promote community empowerment and sustainable action against child labor. The Speaker, it is instructive that just before restrictions were imposed to curtail the spread of COVID-19, the Ministry, together with its stakeholders, developed and launched protocols and guidelines for declaring child labor-free zones in Ghana. The idea of child labor-free zones is to ensure that metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies put in place measures, structures, and systems to monitor, prevent, and withdraw children from child labor in their areas of jurisdiction. Mr. Speaker, Despite all our laudable interventions and their contribution to reduction in child labor, there is a perception out there that child labor is not declining. As I speak to you, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are currently contesting the conclusions of a study funded by US dollar and undertaken by NOC of the University of Chicago to determine the prevalence of child labor in our two countries, especially in the cocoa growing areas. The inaccuracies and misconceptions contained in the draft report could have severe consequences for our cocoa sector if not corrected. We have initiated processes aimed at remedying the situation, but this will take some effort and the earnest cooperation of U.S. Department of Labor. Mr. Speaker, while the ministry and its partners are preparing to assess the full impact of various interventions on child labor through a nationally representative survey, there is an urgent need to take new and pragmatic measures to sustain the gains made so far in the fight against child labor. COVID-19 has also predisposed children to risk factors of child labor. If immediate action is not taken, the impact of measures being taken to contain spread of the virus will have negative consequences on children. According to the estimates from ILO, children will be the hardest hit because 42 to 66 million of them could fall into extreme poverty in 2020. This will be in addition to the estimated 386 million children who were already in extreme poverty in the year 2019. The continuous stay of children at home could also further expose them to all kinds of abuses. Girls may be burdened with domestic chores and predisposed to sexual abuse. Mr. Speaker, in situations of limited savings and inadequate access to social protection services, vulnerable households may have lost their livelihoods, and such households will be at greater risk of falling prey to the demands of loan sharks on terms constituting debt bondage. This could have a dire consequences on our efforts at combating child labor. The key to the fight against child labor resides in the effective implementation of NPA 2. My humble appeal to all lead agencies, i.e. government departments and agencies, is to commit to the execution of their respective roles in the plan. Mr. Speaker, permit me, before I end my statement, to acknowledge the contribution of notable partners supporting government's efforts in the fight against child labor in various projects and programs. They include the United States Department of Labor, UNICEF, ILO, ICI, with funding from Cargill, Nestle, and SECU, International Needs Ghana, World Vision Ghana, and the Right to Play, Verite, the World Cocoa Foundation, PACODEM, Adumapa, CREDA, and SMAR, with funding from ACE, GAU, spearheading the flagship Toko model with funding from ILO, and all organizations and individuals who have in one way or the other contributed in the fight against child labor. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I wish to encourage every member of Parliament to volunteer to become an ambassador of the fight against all forms of child abuse, including child labor. Long live Ghana, long live our cherished children. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.